Hey guys, long time no see. So we'll get into story time in a minute, but I am going to be sharing you guys with some game pickups and stuff that I've had along the way in the last month. What's been going on, why I haven't been doing many videos, and really honestly, it's been I've been going through some frustrations. So not to get into it too much, but I've had a bad back and sciatica for years, and I've always been able to kind of treat it and get it to subside. And at Texas Pinball Festival that Saturday, ironically Sunday was fine, but that Saturday I was in quite a bit of pain. My leg was burning a lot, and there was even one moment when I decided, okay, this was enough, and I started walking back to the hotel. It was like my legs were about ready to give out from underneath me, and I never experienced that before. So I decided, okay, this is enough, I need to go see the doctor. So we went to the doctor, I got a bunch of imaging done, all that stuff, and what it turns out is it's a herniated disc. The disc is pressing on my spine and causing not just the sciatica, but like possible signal disruptions or something like that. So they gave me steroid shots. I've had a couple now to do the swelling down. And what we agreed on is physical therapy. So this morning was my first physical therapy. And I will tell you, in the time that we went through the whole process of diagnosis and the original imaging, which was like weeks ago, to now, it is already doing better. So I have all these recommendations now. Like I might need to start looking into doing yoga and different kinds of stretching every day just to keep this thing in check, because it's something that's not really ever going to go away. Okay, so that's been the drama. It's been my life. Other than that, everything's been great. I've actually taken a lot of joy out of life recently. I really did, despite what was going on at TPF. I had a great time, and I'm looking forward to going back next year. It's just going to be, I'm hoping to be in a better place and better shape, take a lot of weight off so it's not so much on my spine and things like that. So unfortunately I didn't get anything when I was there, because for obvious reasons I didn't really want to do anything more in the event and go back to the hotel. So I've had a couple pickups this week and I wanted to share those with you guys. Alright, so for my first game, this is one I was actually brought, I knew of it but I didn't really try it, and it was brought to light by Happy Console Gamer, and I trust that guy's opinion. And I love his channel. He's always got like a really positive spin and vibe and everything on it. And I love like the stories that he tells about his life, because that's one of the things I connect with my own gaming life, is like the stories that are connected to like when I got that game or whatever. This one here is really cool. It's called Hunt Down. Unfortunately, I haven't played this a whole lot yet, but it's got this sort of like could have been on Sega CD vibe. It's beautiful pixel art, and it's just missions going to take out targets and stuff like that, as far as I can tell so far.
But there are some that have no interest in gang affiliations nor company citizenship. They only pledge allegiance to the highest bidder. Their title, Bounty Hunter. Their only objective, hunt down. Engage.
We're the dolls with bones.
That'll be worth the job. Hard to get used to being this good.
Checkpoint.
Out of my way, bitch. I can pull your trigger all night.
Stash collected.
The music in this is really awesome. It's like this sort of like cyberpunk, almost like Blade Runner-esque stuff is like the stuff I've heard so far. But I've played very little of this so far, and I'm glad that they have a physical copy that's just this. And I was actually kind of shocked what came with it. Like inside, not only is there a color manual, but there's like pins.
I'll spank you.
Bounty collected.
This one, guys, I'm amazed by this game. This is Kirby and the Forgotten Kingdom, and I've been able to play this. I haven't played it like in the last week or so, but been a little bit busy. But Kirby has been fantastic. It's been way better than I could have imagined. His first foray into 3D is amazing. It's really cute. Like when he flies on stars, he's like waving at you. He waves at all the Waddle Dees and stuff. I don't do this often, and I don't get very many amiibos. I almost forgot what they were called. But I've just been in this Kirby kick lately, and I love some of the detail on these amiibos. So like, here's King Deity, and I love the detail on his hammer. That just looks really, really well done. So yeah, I went and got all the Kirby ones. Here's a Waddle Dee. I love the little cloud that he's like landing on. Here is a Meta Knight amiibo. I think this one's been around for a while. I think most of these have actually, but they work in the game. They do different things. You get like different items and stuff. And finally, here's Kirby. So there are a few games that have been on my list that are rather expensive. I will tell you that I paid quite a bit for this. Sunset Riders for the Super Nintendo. And guys, this game is... I love this game so much. I like a lot of Western style games. Like, I like this. I also like Wild Arms, like weird kind of, like I had in the last video, like their weird kind of sci-fi Western thing going on. But I love this game so much. Both the arcade version and the Super Nintendo one, it's fantastic. This game is so hard though. It is so hard, but that's a good thing, right? It's gonna last me a while, so. Okay, so my brother, where he lives at, he went to a like old bookstore, or just like kind of jack of all trade, like consignment store, I think is where he went. And he sent me pictures, and he's like, "Do you want any of these?" And I think one of them was like Mega Man. It was like close to like $90 or something like that. And I was like, I'm not going to take Mega Man because I can get Rockman, and Rockman went through 6 a lot cheaper than I can get Mega Man. Mega Man's price is insanely expensive, and technically, as you guys saw in the last video, I already have Mega Man. I have the Wily's War collections on Genesis, so I'm not in that big of a rush for Mega Man. But I've been looking for a good copy of this for a while, and I finally found it. Ironically, Metroid, I've had a hard time finding it in good condition, and this is really good. And I think it was like 26 bucks, and I just sent him the money, and he sent it right over. So thanks to my brother. I appreciate you finding that. For some reason, I haven't been able to find a good copy of it in Seattle. The ones I've been finding, like the label's been peeled off, they're junk. That one I can clean up and get the label off, no problem. Now, this one's not necessarily a game pickup, but I'm also showing you guys to let you guys know what's going on. So as many of you know, I've switched over to Mac from PC to do like a lot of my editing and stuff. And I've been thinking about sooner or later getting back into streaming. So I've been looking at capture cards that support the Mac, and I ended up getting one of the new Elgato HD 60Xs. So this is a new capture card from them. And I think future streams are just going to be us hanging out. I'm not going to get like super into production and stuff. I'm just gonna like play old retro games and have a good time. Maybe some pinball here and there. We'll see. Man, been a while since I did this. All my batteries are going dead. My camera battery, and this light might just go out all of a sudden. I've dimmed it a little bit, so maybe it lasts a little bit longer. Anyways, onto the crux of, I got this last night, and I didn't really go anywhere to get this. I just ordered it online. But I've been wanting one of these for a while. And so here in the United States, the 16-bit console war was like Super Nintendo, Sega, right? But it wasn't that way in Japan. Sega was still a competitor, but they were third. There were actually 3 competitors in the console war over there. There was Nintendo, NEC Hudson, and then Sega. And so over there they had a system. This is it right here. This is the PC Engine, as you guys can see. I've been wanting one of these for a while. Now, this is not the original PC Engine, but also the thing, I don't know the library very well. Everybody tells me it's great. The few games I have played, like Bonk and stuff like that, I like a lot. So these things came out in 1987, and they were to compete with the original Nintendo. And the graphics on them are amazing. They can do they have like a color palette, like 512 colors, and they can do like most of those colors on screen at one time, like 484 or something like that. So it's a very colorful system. I also noticed with this that there's not a lot of flicker. So I've always wanted to experiment with this. The other thing with this system is you've seen it come over here. Now, they say this is a mini console. Now, here's the funny thing about this. This is 75% the size of the original console. So you just blow this up 25% more, and that's actually how big this was. There was a big obsession in Japan with like how small things could be. And so originally what they did is, I think this is the AC adapter went one side, the RF went out the other side with the channel selector. And then in the back, where the HDMI and USB are now, there used to be a bunch of pins here to connect extra things, and they had a CD attachment that came out. There was like a few like extra cards. So like originally the CD attachment had these ran on little Hue cards that were credit card size. If you've ever seen the TurboGrafx 16 in the late 80s, you've seen pretty much one of these. The TurboGrafx 16 was a much larger version because they thought Americans cared about that sort of stuff. They use like these little credit card size games. So the CD had a little BIOS that was on a credit card, and later on they had one that had extra RAM on it called the Super CD, and then there was an arcade card in '94. And it's amazing what the NEC was able to do with this thing, like for the time, especially like with the hardware available. and it was still doing a pretty good job keeping up with the Super Nintendo and Genesis, even though technically this is sort of an 8-bit console, but sort of 16. It's weird. The graphics on it 16, the CPU is an 8-bit. It's just an emulation box basically, and I did that because these games go for hundreds and hundreds of dollars. One of the games that's on here goes for $1,000 easily. So I don't want to pay that much for my curiosity, so I just decided to get this. I found this for the going rate of 100. It is the Japanese one, but they have this cool thing where you can go from the PC engine to the TurboGrafx 16 selection. And a lot of Japanese games you can still play. There's no problem with it. You don't need to know like that much English, and there's a few you do. The only thing I don't like about this that I didn't know when I bought it is apparently Salamander, which is known as Lifeforce here, a vertical shooter that everybody loves, and I would love to have tried it out. Apparently that is not on the Japanese one. The other third version of that is the European one called the Core Graphics, and it's a similar shape and size, and it came with the controller. So this is what my controller just came loose. This is what the controllers look like. And the Japanese one on launch did not have the turbo sliders like the TurboGrafx 16 or the Core Graphics in Europe. So that is one downside. So I ended up getting an 8-bit controller along with this. This is pretty much the same way. So this is the TurboGrafx version. It's nice 2.4 gigahertz wireless, rechargeable. It's a little bit smaller than the original one, which at times makes it a little bit like weirder to hold, but everything on here feels, I think the D-pad on here feels remarkably better than that. So overall there's about 50 games on this, and there's a couple hidden ones. There's one called like Force Gear and whatnot. And so this is something I would like to dive into a little bit more on my streams. So far I've really digged Blazing Lasers, Ninja Spirit, I love that game. Really surprised by that there was a version of Ninja Gaiden on here. And Dracula X, Rondo of Blood on the machine is fantastic. Okay, so I've got my work cut out for me this week. More videos coming, and yeah. Anyway, see you guys in the next video. Hit the like, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and more pinball on the way, by the way. So, alright, later.